All right, so it's Wednesday. Today we're training our arms and our legs. And then next week, Monday and Friday, we'll be training our arms and legs. So this week we train our arms and leg once. Next week it will be twice. So my clothes are starting to get significantly looser. I'm weighing in at 242 according to the last Sunday, which is great. I'm pretty sure I'm actually going to be 241 at least by this Sunday, if not lighter. Your weight loss is going amazing. You're losing about a pound a day.
Yes, sir.
So your weight is what?
356.
356. So that's 35 pounds he has lost in how many days?
21 days.
21 days, 35 pounds. That is absolutely phenomenal. So he's experiencing 1 pound per day, which is actually extreme weight loss in the terms of losing weight, because 1 to 3 pounds is average, but 1 pound a day at his size is not uncommon. It will slow down, but you can definitely see a difference in your clothes and in your body when you're working out. If y'all don't believe me, go back to the earlier videos. We had him in here at 392 pounds. So you can see where he was at there and see where he's at here. How's your food? Your hunger?
The hunger still varies. Like I said, I guess maybe I'm starting to get more acclimated to the diet. So like in the morning time, I'm ready to eat. And then more towards dinner time, about 8:30ish, I'm like, oh, I'm ready to eat.
Yeah, so me, I'm a little hungry in the mornings when I wake up, but I don't really experience severe hunger until around like 7 o'clock at night. From 7 till bedtime, that's when I'm at my absolute hungriest. In the mornings, it's there, but not really heavy and stuff like that. So, but yours is more in the morning.
Yeah, so I'm the exact opposite.
Yeah, so yeah, I can go till 1 o'clock in the afternoon without feeling really like I need to eat, but when it comes 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, so that's when my hunger gets the best of me, is whenever I hit the evening times. I don't know why, but my body wants to eat more at night than I do during the morning. I don't ever really have an appetite for breakfast. Like the hardest meal for me, whenever I eat 6 meals a day, my first meal is at 9 o'clock. And if I was to wake up and eat at 6 o'clock, because I'm up before 6 o'clock, if I was to eat at 6, like I'd have the hardest time getting food down that early in the morning. It got to the point where I was trying to like cheat it by taking a shake or doing a drink, and I just don't feel like there's a huge benefit to those. I'm not saying there isn't a benefit to them, but if you can eat real food over taking supplements, I always take the opportunity of real food over supplements. Like those are meal replacements. So like you shouldn't count on those to actually replace food unless you're in a situation like I'm going to be driving all day, I don't have time to eat, I'm going to take a shake. Oh man, hey, after the workout, I'm not going to be able to eat because I have to go and do this. Or, oh man, I have a doctor's appointment at this time and I can't bring food, but I can do my shake. That's what those were actually made for. And that's why they were called meal replacement, not meals. But if you can utilize them, and there's nothing wrong with taking them to get some extra protein throughout the day. If you're trying to gain weight and you just want to get extra protein, there's no repercussion of taking those. But I mean, I've seen studies where it says that like if you take protein powder, it actually spikes your insulin because of it spikes your glucose levels. It's basically, it metabolizes. It's so broken down and fine that it actually converts over to glucogen and blood sugar, and it actually elevates blood sugar levels, spiking your insulin, and it actually like slows down the weight loss process. Then I've seen studies saying like if you take it immediately after workout. I've seen so many studies from one end of the spectrum all the way to the other, and like it's hard to say which is right, which is wrong. And when I used to take them, I'd get a lot of boo-boo belly, so I have to figure out which brands my stomach agreed with and which ones I didn't agree with. And then the ones from Muscle Med, like the beef protein, the ones made out of beef, like those were always easy on my stomach. Then the Isopeers, those taste like crap, but again, those didn't really hurt my stomach either. And I found out that just eating food worked way better than any protein supplement on the market. But, take them for what they're worth and everything. So, how's your recovery been, man, and your soreness?
Now it's starting to hurt a lot more, but it's not like intolerable, but yeah, I feel it. Like especially after the workout, closer to bedtime, I'll be hurting. In the morning, I'm hurting about midday. Blood will be moving all day, so it kind of evens out, but it's getting there.
You get stiff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the stiffness. So as you move, your body, your blood flow and everything, yeah, I got you. My stiffness is more in the morning getting out of bed. After about an hour being out of bed, I kind of loosen up and everything. But I also stretch a lot throughout the day. Like I try to stretch maybe like 3-4 times a day, just whether it's my chest or back or legs. So I try to keep my body limber and everything. So you should start trying to stretch a little bit more often. And stretching actually helps promote blood flow, believe it or not, because like you restrict the muscle and stretch it, and when you relax, that blood can rush in there and it helps with recovery. It also helps keep you from being limber and stiff. So if you do trip and stretch yourself, your muscle can extend that distance, because if you're all bound up, you can tear muscles easier if you trip. But yeah, my recovery is good. The amount of protein that I'm eating right now, I think is adequate. I'm actually eating less protein now than I normally do when I'm doing something like this, but I'm trying something different, right? If you do what you've always done, you'll always have the same results. So I'm trying to approach my diet a little bit differently than what I normally do at this time. And I'm actually going to be adding a lot of cardio, not a lot of cardio, but at the moment I go on walks. I do 2 10-minute walks a day, one at 9 and one at noon after I eat my meals. But I'm actually going to be getting a piece of cardio equipment in here next week. So I'm going to be doing a 10-minute cardio session first thing in the morning, and then at 9 a 10-minute walk, at noon a 10-minute walk, and the days that don't work out, another 10-minute session in the evening. And when I start doing that, if I feel like I'm losing too much muscle mass, I'm going to increase my protein and maybe my carbs a little bit to help preserve my muscle. And I can easily do that by adding 2 ounces to every meal, or adding a whole meal in the morning after I get done doing cardio. I'm just going to play with it and see where those waters take me and how it goes. And I'm going to be doing a slight adjustment to your diet come Monday, so your diet's going to be changing up a little bit. I'm not going to be changing your routine or your cardio. Have you been doing any cardio? You've been going on walks or anything?
Honestly, no.
Okay, well that's good, because you're losing a pound a day. And like I said, if you want to get the absolute most out of what you're doing with the least amount of effort, because if you can get massive results with small efforts, well, when it comes time to increase your efforts, you're not going so far off the deep end that you can't come back. There's no return, right? So that's good. So like I said, I want to make a minor adjustment to your diet because you're doing so well. I don't want to mess with anything until you start slowing. Once it starts slowing down, then we're going to start looking at more adjustments to your diet, adding in a walk here and there, and your cardio could be as simple as a 10-minute walk once a day, twice a day. Like we're going to start baby steps and stuff like that, because as long as you're coming down the way you're coming down, it's not broken, we're not fixing it, right? We're going to run it as long as we can run it until we stop seeing those results. So, all right, well, that's just a little bit of gym banter and a little talk and update on what we're doing and what's going on with us. So let's get into this workout and let's make this happen.